can do offensively, pounding the Oregon defense.
And this is a guy that can bring it, and Stanford will need good special teams play. Chris Owusu has already returned three kickoffs for touchdowns, 2 of them on the opening kickoff. Beard will be the kicker for Oregon. And let's see if they kick it to Owusu. Beard comes forward, drives this one, and Owusu will have a chance. Comes up, takes it at the 6-yard line. Got a little bit of a gap to the 30, 35 to the 40. Look out, midfield. Going to be a race. He's at the 30 to the 20. Caught from behind and dropped at the 15-yard line. But you could not draw it up better for a start of a game if you were Jim Harbaugh. 77 yards.
Well, the lane was there for Owusu, and all he had to do was use his extraordinary speed and accelerate through the holes. Great job by the Stanford kickoff return team, staying on their blocks, knowing that Owusu could take advantage of that hole, and just tripped up at the very end of the play. Saving the touchdown is Terrell Irvin.
So Andrew Luck will lead the Cardinal, starting at the 16-yard line of the Oregon Ducks. Gerhart, the tailback, Whalen in motion. And this is Gerhart right up the middle, moves the pile a little bit, picks up about 4. As we said, this is Stanford football. They will pound you. And they have a very talented quarterback in Andrew Luck, a guy who seems to be getting better every week. First down yardage, I believe, a real key in this game. If Stanford can get 4 yards, as it did on that series, that just opens up everything, because Luck very efficient off the play action.
Barry, that's the key to their entire offense. They're going to run power. They're going to get behind their great fullback, Owen Marisic, and they are going to challenge Oregon physically.
2nd down and 6. Play fake this time. Luck runs right into traffic. Had unloaded early. Almost picked. Bryson Littlejohn had his hands on that ball, and that was going to be a pick 6 had he been able to hold on. Defensively for Stanford, offensively, presented by Phillips. You saw the offensive line. Here are the skilled people. Owen Marisic, we've been talking about him all year. And he is a guy, if he gets a hat on you, he doesn't let you go.
He's got great hips and great ability. He does it all for this Stanford offense. Really one of the most unsung players in the country. Really makes it work for the Cardinals.
3rd down and 6. And 2nd down play, Luck just rolled right in to the oncoming defensive player for Oregon. There's a drop play with Gerhart. Nothing good. He's stopped for a loss. Well defended that time. T.J. Ward just filled the hole.
Well, that was an example of Stanford doing what they had to do on 1st down and getting a pretty good gain. And then on 2nd down, Kenny Rowe putting that giant hit on Andrew Luck. And then they solid it up on 3rd down. Very good defensive series for Nick Aliotti's Oregon defense.
I'll say. Whitaker will come on to try a 29-yard field goal and get Stanford on the board first, just a minute and a half into the ball game. It is on its way, and it is good. Not by much, but he'll take it. Let's go back and take a look at the kickoff return of Owusu, and he hit that hole perfectly, just the way you're supposed to.
Well, Stanford's a very disciplined team, and they're very disciplined in the way they go about all their business, especially the return game. And you see, Owusu's the one with the speed and the acceleration and confidence with the football, but it's really the blocks. Jim Dre, Fleener's out there, Amajoy's out there doing a great job. Will Powers, those guys holding blocks, driving forward, keeping their legs under them, not falling down in a situation like that, really gave Owusu time, and they held their blocks all the way down the field, all the way to midfield. Really well executed play for the Cardinal, but you know Jim Harbaugh wishes they could have capitalized with a touchdown. Stanford 10th in the Pac-10 in red zone offense.
And I think this Oregon defense, because there's so much conversation about their offense, I think it just doesn't get enough notice.
No, it certainly doesn't. And the Oregon defense, even in Boise, really carried their team through the first 3 games, also against Purdue and also against Utah. And then the offense started going. They are the #1 red zone defense in the Pac-10, the Ducks are.
So Kenyon Barner will be the deep man, and this guy could scoot also. Kick is a short end over end kick. It's going to be Barner at the 8-yard line. He gets a little gap and then closes down as he crosses the 30-yard line to about the 32-yard line. Offensively, for the Oregon Ducks, this is a very young team, and you can see along the offensive line, no seniors on that offensive line. And the backs and receivers, only the one senior, Ed Dixon. I think he's going to be a key player in this game. There's your quarterback, Jeremiah Masoli, and Masoli is, and you mentioned earlier, the straw that stirs the drink. As he goes, so go the Ducks. Start with the trips right. Masoli, quick pass. Catch is made by Mayo, but converged upon immediately and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Several Stanford players around him. Masoli, 18 touchdown runs, 19 touchdown passes, great balance, got a cannon arm, and has just made all the right decisions in the last few weeks.
And he's a great leader. You heard Rebecca talking about it in the open. Really keeps it loose, really keeps these guys entertained, and keeps them having fun in this fast break offense.
Here's James, comes off a wing this time. James trying to get the outside, can't do it. Nice play by Bill McNally. Pickup of only about a yard. What Stanford is trying to do defensively, P, and Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator, was talking to us about this. They don't want to cross the line of scrimmage on defense. They want to wait.
They saw USC make that mistake. Ends crashing up, leaving giant yawning holes for LaMichael James and Masoli to run through. Stanford doing a good job right now, hanging out at the line of scrimmage and running to the ball.
They are, third down and long. Right now, Oregon not running that hurry up. They go empty as they bring James out. Masoli straight back to pass as all day. Throws over the middle for Dixon, incomplete. Dixon was open. Masoli missed him.
Like you said, Barry, he was open. Delano Howell and Bo McNally, both Stanford safeties. Dixon came right between them and was open and really didn't stretch out for that ball. Masoli just missed him.
And it was Dixon in Stanford, or in Oregon's really real coming-of-age game, which was the one against California. Dixon showed. Drew Terrell going to be the deep man to receive this punt. Long count. A line drive kick, short kick. Takes a big hop. Up in immediately as Terrell, fine defensive play that time by Barner.
And you just see the confidence of a guy like Kenyon Barner running the ball, returning the ball, and making tackles.
Stanford has the ball and the lead, 3-0, 12:06 remaining. First quarter. First down, Cardinal at the 25-yard line out of the I formation. Play fake. Luck is going to go up on first down, throws deep, and that's going to be interference. Whalen, the intended receiver, he was tackled by Javis Lewis.
Javis Lewis plays that rover position for Oregon. They've had a lot of injuries in the secondary that they've had to overcome. Ryan Whalen, a very under-control receiver, picks a shoulder and just tries to take out Lewis.
On the defense, number 14. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Whalen really tried to use his body and get between Lewis and the ball and did a great job of doing that. And Lewis had no choice but to take him down.
Whalen really a savvy wide receiver. Began as a walk-on here, outstanding student, 4.4 GPA coming out of high school. Walked onto the Stanford team, was becoming the most reliable receiver. First down at the 40-yard line for the Cardinals. There's the give to Gerhart. Gerhart tries to bounce it outside and almost did. Picked up about 4, and that is going to move him over the 1,000-yard mark. Toby Gerhart over 1,000 yards on this season.
He had 994 coming in to this ball game. He's the Pac-10's leading rusher, ahead of Jacquizz Rodgers and Javid Best, who we have coming up in the next game. California State leading rusher in the high school history of this fine state. One of the great running backs in the history of the state.
Pretty impressive. Oregon shows blitz this time. They pick it out. Luck's pass is caught by Whalen for a first down. And right now the Stanford offense is clicking. Hazinger and Ward on the stop. Nice throw and a nice grab.
Well, you mentioned the savviness of Ryan Whalen. He recognizes the bail coverage there and runs a nice short route, finds the place inside the zone, and for a redshirt freshman, Andrew Luck recognizes right away the bail and the zone and gets the ball to Whalen. That's really good communication, especially for a redshirt freshman quarterback, a first-year guy.
Stephon Taylor in at tailback now for Stanford. And this is Taylor. Taylor hit by the first man through, a pickup of about 2. T.J. Ward filled the hole nicely. Let's go down to the sideline once more. Rebecca Harlow with more on Jim Harbaugh. Rebecca?
Yes, well, Barry, what's interesting about this start is it's exactly what Stanford expected. We talked to Harbaugh yesterday, and he said, I've never seen our team intimidated. In fact, there's definitely no fear around the locker room. There's a feeling that this is an opportunity for us to step it up in the Pac-10. They're certainly starting off that way, guys.
Well, a huge game for them, of course. They got the 5 wins. They need 1 more to be bowl eligible, and it's not an easy road. Marisic goes in motion, power formation, play fake. Luck going to go up, unloads deep. He's got a man out there, and he overthrew the intended receiver, who was Kobe Fleener, a tight end. This time they go out of the gun. Whalen, it's Griff Whalen in motion. Here's a blitz off the edge. It's picked up, Luck steps up, throws. Whalen makes the catch, first down Cardinal. That's Ryan Whalen on the catch. Cardinal have 2 Whalens who are receivers, not related, Griff and Ryan. John Boyette on the stop, but another Stanford first down. And another perfectly executed play.
Well, look at the Whalen boys. You see the little pick play there? That's Griff Whalen, and Ryan Whalen comes right above that and finds another soft hole inside that Oregon zone. And Andrew Luck does a great job of sticking in there in the face of the blitz, which was picked up nicely, and delivering the football. Stanford looks good and disciplined right now offensively.
And that was a key, Jim Harbaugh told us yesterday when we spoke with him. Out of the gun once again, and the give is to Gerhart. Gerhart didn't get much this time. Might have gotten 2. Brandon Baer in the center for Oregon makes the stop. Stanford coaches were talking about what sure tacklers the Oregon Ducks are also.
Well, they have to be, and they've always had to be under Mike Bellotti and under Chip Kelly. The Oregon defense plays a lot of one-on-one, and they have a lot of safety movement, a lot of guys creeping up to the line of scrimmage. That means 1 broken tackle, and you can go to the house. So you have to be a sure tackler. You have to hang on for dear life once you get a hold of somebody. Now, that's pretty hard to do when that guy is Toby Gerhart, the captain of this Stanford offense.
Stanford Cardinal go with 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. Again, the Ducks show blitz, and again they come with it. And again, it's picked up, and the pass is caught by Owusu inside the 5-yard line, down to the 2-yard line. Brilliant pass by Andrew Luck. Gain of 25. Talmadge Jackson, the saving tackle, and a Cardinal in business.
Well, you said it right there, Barry. What a throw. Again, finding a hole in the zone. Great blitz pickup by Toby Gerhart. And Luck just delivers that ball with great confidence, steps into the throw. And Owusu, who's had a little trouble catching the ball way downfield, is able to secure that one. Nice route. Again, finding soft holes inside the Duck zone.
And just delivering the ball on the money. First and goal at the 2-yard line. Give it to Marisic, the fullback, and he's going to be a little short. They've been running the fullback a little bit more on these short yardage situations. He hadn't had a carry until about 2 weeks ago.
Well, I don't think there's any secret that Owen Marisic is Jim Harbaugh's favorite player, and he's the favorite player of all his teammates. Owen Marisic really is a guy that does everything right, according to his coach, Jim Harbaugh. And he shows up on film just watching. He does everything correctly. It's true. So get down there close to the goal line. You want to reward him a little bit. I think this one will go to Toby, though.
A half yard to go. This is Gerhart. He's close. Touchdown. Well, the Stanford Cardinal out of the blocks very quickly.
There's Marisic getting a nice block on the hip with the defender, getting a little push, and that's all Toby needs. You know, Stanford not great in the red zone, but inside the 5-yard line with the run game that they have and the powerful people they have, you got to say, just keep on pounding it, and they'll score a touchdown.
So far, it's just as they draw it up. Driver line is up, and it is good. And with 7:49 remaining to be played here in the first quarter, Stanford has taken a 10-0 lead, and guess what, folks? That lead is the biggest first quarter deficit for Oregon this year. We'll be back. Well, so far it has been all Stanford Cardinal. They have 2 scores, a field goal from 29 yards out, and a long touchdown drive, making it 10-0. Oregon has had the ball offensively for just 3 snaps.
And that's exactly what Jim Harbaugh wants. He wants Oregon's offense off the field, and he wants his offense on it, pounding the football.
This is going to be Barner at the 1-yard line. Trying to get to the other side of the field. He's got no place to go. The flag is down. And so is Barner at about the 14-yard line. So this could push Oregon even further back. Cheeky Amajuri on the stop. Amajoy, I beg your pardon, on the stop.
On the return team, block below the waist, number 43, half the distance to the goal, first down.
You know, this is something we saw plague Oregon earlier in the season when they were on shakier ground. Special teams penalties and a little bit of inconsistency on offense. Now, this is a Stanford defense that is beat up. Their best player, Eric Lorig, is not out there. Clinton Snyder, their middle linebacker, one of their leaders, not out there. But they're hanging on so far. Let's see how long they can hold up against this powerful offense.
Chris Evans also not in the ballgame. He is out for the day. The give this time on a reverse is to Holland, and Holland's got some room all the way out past the 25-yard line to the 27. Bo McNally makes the stop, a gain of 20. And that's become commonplace for these Oregon Ducks. I believe they had 8 plays of 20 yards or more against USC last week.
That's a very simple end-around play with Holland coming around, one of the fastest guys in the country, playing any position. Great track runner.
Oregon going to the hurry-up now. Pass over the middle, dropped by Holland, right in his hands.
Well, you saw what Holland can do, and then you also saw one of his limitations in 2 plays. Has a hard time staying focused throughout drives, and that time dropped a nice pass from Masoli. Holland with a beautiful touchdown catch against his old team, USC, last week. Jameer Holland was a transfer from USC to Oregon. Inside the Pac-10 transfers don't happen all the time.
This time they lined the tight end up in the backfield. Now they throw to him. This is Dixon at the 30-yard line, trying to turn it upfield. He's going to get about 5, maybe 6 yards. Will Powers runs him out. Give him 8 yards.
We're going to look at the action in the backfield with Jeremiah Masoli. Just so calm in the backfield, so confident with what he's doing, and flips it out to Ed Dixon. A nice little play by Chip Kelly's team, getting Dixon involved and getting a nice gain on second down. Now they're dealing with 3rd and short.
Yeah, that's a very different look than we've seen from these Oregon Ducks.
They got a lot of wrinkles.
3rd down and 2, and they give this time to James, and James squirms out of the tackle, gets the first down right about the 40-yard line. Matt Masafilo missed it.
Yeah, Matt Masafilo got his hands all over LaMichael James, and this is what really impresses me about the true freshman. Really impressed me last week watching him against USC. LaMichael James, when somebody gets their hands on him, that first contact that comes to him, his body really comes to life. And he really wiggles and shakes and turns his legs and finds a way to get away, and he's very explosive.
So first down at the 40-yard line, and a give right up the gut. And this is James, and he is gone. Just have scored 60 yards. Well, you just said it, P. I mean, they give you one look one time, another look the next time, and then they come right back against the grain, and there's nobody home.
Well, it's like the parting of the sea right there. A great seal. Mark Asper doing a great job just blocking out, and then on the inside, Jordan Holmes, 2 great blocks, and LaMichael James is way too fast to give a hole like that to. Nobody playing deep, nobody helping out to take on LaMichael James, and he takes it right down the field vertical in a hurry.
5 plays, 93 yards to go all, 1 minute and 7 seconds, and just like that, it's a 3-point game, and a flag is down. So we'll see about the penalty. It's going to be offside against the Stanford Cardinal. And it'll be refused. The extra point will be good, and it is a 10-7 ball game.
Offsides on the defense. Penalty is declined. Try is good.
So 6:33 remaining
Timeout
first
on the
quarter,
field.
and it's a shootout, and that's kind of what we expected. Stanford 10-7. Welcome back. Just like that, a 10-7 ball game. It only took the Ducks 1 minute and 7 seconds, and that man right there, Michael James, scoots for 60 yards, untouched. Oregon offense is based on taking what's given, and that time, Stanford safeties were pretty invisible.
They spread them way out across the field.
So Beard will kick it away again. And Owusu about 2 yards deep. He's going to come to the 10. And drop right about the 20-yard line. So let's talk about what did happen on that last touchdown. LaMichael James untouched.
Oregon spread him way out, and watch this. Just all the action going to the right, and LaMichael James able just to bend it back, and nobody from Stanford is at home because of the spread out way. We talked about how Stanford wants to stay at the line of scrimmage and really force Jeremiah Masoli to make decisions. Well, that time they stayed at the line of scrimmage, and nobody went after LaMichael James when he got the ball and was able to bend it back. It's not enough to stay at the line of scrimmage. Decisions by Jeremiah Masoli. You have to go make the play as well.
So the Cardinals started its own 20-yard line. They give this to Gerhart. Gerhart moves the pile a little bit, got about 3. Eddie Pleasant on the stop to the Ducks. First and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. Your entire order ships for just $2.95 at Overstock.com. Overstock.com, at home with the O.
Well, this is a really important drive right now for Stanford. They've been hit quick by Oregon. That's what Oregon does. They have to do what they do and take the air out of the football and keep Masoli on the sideline and get their defensive rest.
Almost 4 yards on first down. Again, the Ducks show blitz, and they do come off the edge and throw. And that was almost picked dangerous, and a nice move to the ball by Talmadge Jackson.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in game action.
So the ball at the 16-yard line. Another Stanford first down. Gerhart again. Not this time. Pulled backward by Brandon Baer.
But I don't mind that play call there. I mean, that's what Stanford wants to do on first down anyway, is run power. But it really is a nice thing to see. In college, so many offensive coordinators just like to diversify things because they can, because they have the ability to do so. Right there, power was working for Jim Harbaugh, and he kept it going. And you see what they do on first down. 4.5 yards is what they average, and that is because of power.
That's exactly what went into the game plan for the Cardinals. 4 yards on first down. They feel they could be there at the end. Stephon Taylor now in at the running back spot. Gerhart leaves. Taylor's got some giddy up also. Luck going to put it up. Over the middle, got a man wide open. Touchdown, and he dropped it. Had it in his hands and dropped it. Conrad Rulin. Luck has been victimized on a couple of occasions here today.
Well, that was a beautiful throw by Andrew Luck and a great route. Wide open over the middle was Conrad Rulin. And it looked like he took a wrong step with his right foot, and that kind of messed up his catching sequence. He had a beautiful catch against Arizona State a couple weeks ago, and Jim Harbaugh told us he gained a lot of confidence from the game he played against Arizona State. Some of that confidence will be taken away after that play.
So third down and 10, a big play here for the Cardinal now. They had 6, and now Stanford is going to call a timeout, talk this over, not the alignment that they wanted. Welcome back. Well, Pete, we've been talking about time of possession and how important it is. And look at these numbers.
Well, it's a huge deal for Stanford. They've had the ball for 9.5 minutes as opposed to Oregon's 2.5 minutes. Stanford sticks to its identity, and they have it even easier when they have the lead. They do a great job of sticking to their identity, and it's better for them when they have the lead to do that, so they can continue to run the ball and run the clock.
Stanford 13th in the nation in time of possession, so this is nothing new for them. And especially against this Oregon team, they want to take the air out of the ball. You can see Stanford's won 20 plays, Oregon 8, and yet it's a 3-point ball game right now.
Oregon can strike quickly.
Big play here, third down and 10. And they give it to Gerhart. Gerhart taking people with him down to the 5-yard line. It'll be close. Gain of 11, and I believe he's got another first down for Cardinal. And what a gutsy play call that was.
He ran right over Casey Matthews, and this is just sheer 1-2. We call Toby Gerhart a one-stop shop because he blocks, he can catch the ball, and he can do this for you. You see the hole open up, and he takes it there. He knows he doesn't have enough for the first down there until he steps right on the numbers of Casey Matthews, runs right over him, one of the best defenders on the Oregon D, and gets the first down because he wanted it more.
Ducks do not have an answer for him so far. 11 carries, 56 yards. In the I formation, first down at the 5-yard line. Gerhart again. Tried to bounce it outside that time, a step from getting in, but a nice tackle that time defensively by Talmadge Jackson.
Well, Toby needed to get underneath his guard, Andrew Phillips, who came around on the pull. Once again, Stanford running their power play. They can do it out of all kinds of different formations, very diversified with that play they like to run. And Toby needed to get underneath Andrew Phillips. Instead, he got outside of him, and that's why the play didn't work.
Stanford's going to go with its power package now as they bring an extra offensive lineman. James McGillicuddy comes into the game. And this is a real power formation here. Now they can Dre out of the backfield. Give it to Gerhart. Gerhart trying to cut it inside. Still on his feet, close to the end zone. Touchdown Cardinal. And that's another 1-2 play. They just pound you.
If you like power football, this is the place. This is the place to see it. Toby Gerhart getting behind his offensive line. Owen Marisic again. Andrew Phillips pulling around. Everybody on the same page. Everybody churning their legs. Everybody driving their feet. And Oregon right now, they're kind of a runaround defense, kind of a blitzing defense. They don't have an answer for what Stanford's doing.
Not so far. And that should make the job that much easier for Andrew Luck. He didn't have to throw it very much on that series, and the Cardinal leads again by 10. And for that guy right there, Toby Gerhart, 60 yards, and we still have 1 minute and 33 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
You see Marisic trying to find his way through, Phillips trying to find his way through. Toby does a great job getting behind those two blockers, Phillips and Marisic, and just keeping the legs driving, keeping his feet under him. And we talk about the incredible balance of Toby Gerhart. For a guy that runs with so much balance, he always falls forward. You know, sometimes there's guys they run with balance and they're upright, but they sometimes fall on their backside, and that's not what you want in a back. Toby Gerhart just does a great job of falling forward every time he gets the football. Rarely loses yardage.
Toby Gerhart moving up on the touchdown numbers at Stanford as well. Tommy Vardell, who was somewhere in the house today. Touchdown Tommy.
One of my favorites as a young man.
The other thing on that last play, Owen Marisic, and you talked about this, he not only gets on a guy, he doesn't get off the guy. He moved Javis Lewis that time 4 yards into the end zone.
It's leg drive, it's positioning, and it's desire.
Here's Barner, comes up, takes this at about the 7-yard line. I want to keep him to this side of the field, it's apparent. And he brings it back to about the 30. Pretty good return. 22-yard return. Now Jeremiah Masoli will take over. You know, there's all that talk, of course, about the Heisman Trophy. Every year is the Heisman Trophy. And here's Tim Tebow, was the winner of the Heisman Trophy, but look at his numbers when compared to Jeremiah Masoli, and they're very favorable.
Well, Jeremiah Masoli has just as much command of this Ducks offense as Tim Tebow has at Florida. Tim Tebow is a legendary football player and one of the greats of all time in college football, but you look at the numbers of what Masoli's been able to do, very comparable.
This comparison's brought to you by Days Inn. Here's Barner, and Barner gets a little bit of an angle and gets it going in the right direction across the 35, about the 36, a gain of 6.
They did have the nice touchdown run from LaMichael James, but the angles we're seeing from the Oregon offense so far in this game are not the sharp, exploitive angles that we saw against USC. Stanford doing a much better job staying at the line of scrimmage and playing assignment football.
Quick toss this time to Mail, and Mail gets a step. He's got a first down and more across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. Akam Udofia on the stop for the Cardinal, gain of 11. So as fast as the Cardinal puts it up, Oregon comes right back.
And you don't want to get these guys going. You don't want them to get into rhythm. They are a rhythm offense, and once Masoli starts to feel comfortable, look out.
This time a give to Michael James, and he gets out of the first tackle, but Stanford scrambles and stops him for a loss of about a yard on the play. He's tough, though. Nick Macaluso starting for Clinton Snyder today. Snyder, a freak injury in practice the other day, and he is finished for the season.
Leading tackler on the Stanford team is out. Nick Macaluso is going to start, and Owen Marisic is going to come in, we're told, and play a little bit of middle linebacker. Sometimes he just plays on the goal line, but he'll be in the game playing Mike Backer.
Second down, 11. Masoli, and a quick toss to Dixon. He forgot to take the ball with him. That'll be an incomplete pass. Might have had a little room.
The Stanford defense doing their job. Staying at home, playing assignment football, not getting overexcited and flying up the football field, not leaving big holes for the Oregon offense. Right now, they're playing very disciplined, and they have the Ducks out of rhythm. This is a big 3rd down and long for Jeremiah Masoli.
This time, they bring 2 and slot to the near side. Masoli runs up, might be checking off here. Now he flops James to his right side. And I think they got a freebie. Somebody jumped over the middle. The pass is almost intercepted. Thrown a little bit short. Chase Thomas, though, might have come across early.
Offsides, defense number 93. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
And we talked to Ron Lynn about this.
We will play 1 on time down.
Stanford defensive coordinator, we discussed this. There's a lot of thinking and a lot of decisiveness that has to go on the defensive side of the ball when you're playing against Oregon. You have to know your assignment, and with the flop of the tailback, I think the Stanford D got a little confused and jumped off sides.
And he heard the referee say they're going to play an untimed down here. Masoli with time. Now he steps up, he'll run. And now he throws to James, and James cannot hang on. Incomplete. That's where Masoli can really hurt you. He really pulls up really quickly and then just kind of flips that ball.
Got a lot of confidence, and he plays with a lot of control out there. But right now, Stanford's D, very impressive.
So Rice is going to punt this away. Terrell going to be the deep man for the Cardinals. Twisting kick. Terrell will handle it about the 7-yard line. Stutter step, starts one way, now comes the other, surrounded and down. 43-yard punt and a 5-yard return by Terrell. Let's take a look at our eHarmony stats after the first quarter. And Stanford, 128 yards of offense. Oregon still had 104, but remember, 60 of them came on that 1 touchdown run by LaMichael James. Gerhart, a couple of touchdowns, 60 yards on the ground. Pretty good.
Well, Stanford's got 17 points right now, and they got it in the first quarter, and that is a statement in itself. Oregon only has given up 23 first-quarter points all year. You see it right there. And Toby Gerhart's making a statement right now for Pac-10 Player of the Year. Masoli, Quiz Rogers, Javid Best, they're all in the running. But Toby really showing out against the team we all believed was BCS bound.
There he is again. Right side, now he steps inside, stays on his feet. Great balance across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. Javis Lewis makes a shoestring tackle, a gain of 7. Stanford doing just what it went into this game wanting to do on first down.
Toby Gerhart is running with a real purpose, and he always seems to. And Barry, you just think about all the great backs that are in the Bay Area this afternoon in college football. Toby Gerhart, Michael James, Shane Vereen, Javid Best, Jacquizz Rogers, his brother James, Jeremiah Masoli, a great runner in his own right. This is wild.
Oh, it's great. Play fake, Luck going to go up. Blitz is picked up. Luck throws over the middle. Owusu has it. 38-yard line of the Oregon Ducks. A gain of 40. And a ball perfectly thrown once again by the redshirt freshman Andrew Luck.
What a beautiful throw by Luck, dropping it in. Owusu putting his head down and using that speed. Talmadge Jackson, the third, right on top of it.
All right, let's talk about the Fearless Predictions presented by Phillips HD.
What Owusu has is speed and the acceleration. We've seen it a couple times in this game already. We saw the return to start out the game, and he has improved his hands so far in this football game, making 2 beautiful catches way downfield.
2 catches for 65 yards. Plus, he's got 125 yards in kick return so far. Look out. Luck throws wide open. Catch is made by Dre. First down. Stanford. Luck took a shot. Ball at the 10-yard line. Welcome back. Just getting started here in the second quarter. And the Cardinal knocking on the door once more. They lead at 17-7. In the red zone, 3 for 3 today. First 8 games, just over 73%. It's a last in the Pac-10. Not so today. Gerhart, not this time. Stopped in the backfield by T.J. Ward to fill that gap nicely.
They're happy to have T.J. Ward back for Oregon. Missed 5 games with an ankle injury early in the season. Leading tackler last year, kind of came out of nowhere last year and started making a whole bunch of plays. Very good, strong safety, and a very good tackler.
2 minutes and change into the second quarter. Stanford already with 203 yards of offense. They have over 1,000 yards of offense in their last 2 games, so this is not a fluke. Out of the gun this time. Give it to Gerhart again. Gerhart right up the gut. Gets it inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. Might mark this at around the 8. But it's going to be a pickup of about 5 yards. That'll give you an idea what the Stanford offensive line is doing.
And that gives Andrew Luck a pretty manageable 3rd down here. You look at Andrew Luck and what he's done. Only 3 interceptions in 206 passes. And he's only been sacked 5 times that year. And certainly that's a credit to the offensive line, but it's also a credit to the poise of this young man. 6 of 10 today for 132 yards. There's not a better freshman quarterback in America.
I believe that. It's at the 8-yard line, 3rd down and 6. They go out of the gun. And this time they play fake. Luck looks to the end zone. Got a man, Dre. Touchdown Stanford. And a late flag comes in, but I'm not going to speculate.
Well, Andrew Luck took a hit there, but delivered it perfectly. Just like we were saying, this kid's got size, strength.
Number 2 on the defense. That penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
It's roughing the passer on T.J. Ward. I mean, size, strength, accuracy, touch, plus he runs when necessary. He can really fire his legs. You see the ability to fake in the backfield, and a great catch that time by Jim Dre. But again, a perfectly delivered ball by Andrew Luck. Good coverage by John Boyette.
You know, the other thing about that, we spoke of this earlier, and we were talking to the coaching staff about it, throwing across his body, coming one way, throwing back across his body. That is tough to do.
Well, he can do it just because he has such great fundamentals. That's the roughing the passer. Not a huge hit, but threw the flag. But you saw him just turn his hips, deliver the ball. Very poised, very calm, can put touch on it, can zip it in there. I don't see what this kid can't do.
Well, the whole team has played brilliantly on the offensive end. Got to give it up for the offensive line. They've been doing their job. Toby Gerhart's been sensational. The receivers have done the job. And Andrew Luck.
Yeah, we've seen them do this. We saw them come out in the first half against Arizona State with a similar purpose. But to do it against this Oregon team, which is the hottest, no argument, they are the hottest college football team in America. After that giant win over USC, Oregon coming down here riding a wave of success. And they have really run into a fundamentally disciplined, sound football team in Stanford.
Well, what Stanford is doing has just not happened to the Ducks.
Yeah, this is the most points versus Oregon in 6 weeks. This is really something. What they've done.
It's not bad. Look at that. 3 long drives against this Ducks defense, and that's exactly over and above everything else. Stanford wanted to kind of take the air out of the football, use the clock, not let the Oregon offense on the field. They've not only done it, but they put points on themselves.
And you're talking about rolling one way and throwing the other. Elway could do that, another Stanford quarterback, running left better than any quarterback ever. Now Luck really shows that ability too.
And this kick is going to go out of bounds. It's going to give Oregon great field position here. Right now, freecreditreport.com sideline report. Once more, here's Rebecca Harlow.
Guys, welcome to the Jeremiah Masoli tailgate and Army. I spoke to him earlier this week, and he said, I have over 500 people coming to the game, and I love the support. This entire section up here is dedicated to Jeremiah. It is one group that is saying, hey, Oregon can fight right back into this game. There's lots of love, lots of support, and the family is just happy to be along for the ride, guys.
All right, thanks very much. Not just the Masoli family that is here in force. Oregon rooters here in force. As you look around this stadium, P, I'd say, what, a third of the stadium is clad in yellow and green.
Well, they've ridden that wave of success all the way down to the farm.
Really nice to see a team that travels a crowd.
5-yard line, first down.
So this ball will be marked at the 25. The reason for this is there was that penalty, roughing the passer, which is assessed.
That's right.
On this.
And Stanford kickoffs were really continually pinning Kenyon Barner into the corner inside the 5-yard line. And that time it seemed like the penalty messed up their kicking sequence.
But not as bad as it could have been. Would have been at the 40-yard line, but for that penalty. So Masoli will start at the 25. And throw, and does. And able to slip the tackle that time was Lavoisier Touanet. Picked up about 5.
They're still searching for that rhythm on the Oregon side of the ball.
No question, looked like the Ducks tried to stretch the field in this game, not going between the tackles quite as much. And here's Masoli up the middle. That time he had a gap, and look out. Masoli midfield to the 45-yard line. Gain of 25. So another big play. That's the third play of over 20 yards in this game for Oregon. Delano Howell makes what could have been a saving tackle.
Well, watch Masoli. All the action is going to be going to the right, and Masoli is going to just stay in one place. And this is what makes him so dangerous, his ability to just stay there and wait for everything to open up.
Quick screen this time to Davis, and Davis knocked out of bounds after a gain of about 4. And now Oregon utilizing that hurry up as they get plays off very quickly.
Well, once they start to get a rhythm, then Chip Kelly really goes for the throat with the hurry-up offense, and they can go faster than anybody in the country because they practice faster than anybody in the country. The tempo is unbelievable.
Ball at the 41-yard line of the Cardinal. And this is Masoli. Now he throws outside, and a catch is made by Touanet, and Touanet is going to be close to a first down at the 35-yard line.
Well, that's really amazing, and that was defensed well by the Cardinal, but what an amazing play and a wrinkle off the read option that Oregon likes to run. The fake, Masoli looks like he's going to run it, and then just sprints outside and slings it out there to Touanet.
Trips left this time. Masoli, now he looks downfield, throws over the middle, got a man. Dixon first down at the 20, down to the 15-yard line. Ball popped loose, but let's see. Officials are saying, they still haven't signaled, now they're saying Stanford football. Chris Evans made the recovery. We didn't even think Chris Evans was going to be playing today. Told us he got injured Thursday. They didn't expect him to play, and sure enough, he's not only out there, makes what might be a fumble recovery. We'll see if this gets reviewed.
Well, Chris Evans with the tackle and the fumble recovery. Dixon doing a great job of showing his numbers to Masoli. Wide open. Masoli finds him right in the middle of the field. Dixon fighting for more yards, and that's just a great play.
Absolutely.
That great individual defensive play by Chris Evans, and Oregon had gotten a rhythm on offense, and it just stopped.
Just like that. Now the Cardinal has it once again at the 15-yard line. Big break for Stanford. Give it to Gerhart. Gerhart's got a gap. Gerhart lost the football. Ball's loose, picked up by Oregon. Giveth and taketh. Spencer Pasinger makes the recovery for the Ducks, and they'll have it right back at the 29-yard line.
An amazing sequence of plays. Toby Gerhart mortified at the fumble. He is not a back that gives it up a lot. Makes a nice cut, and that's just a really good tackle by T.J. Ward. Put his helmet right on the ball, and sometimes as a running back, there's nothing you can do about that. That's great defense overcoming good offense. T.J. Ward popping that ball out, and Pasinger's the man on the spot, picking it up.
Please reset the game clock to 9 minutes and 56 seconds.
Let's see how Chip Kelly adjusts this offense with this huge deficit. Boise loss was 19-8, and Oregon hasn't been jumped on like this since losing at USC on October 4th, 2008. This is a tough spot for them.
This is Masoli this time. Fakes, steps up, throws to the end zone. Wide open Mail. Touchdown. 29 yards, just like that. I'd keep my seatbelt buckled if I were you. I think this one's going to be a bumpy ride.
Everybody bought the fake, and Masoli was able to get outside and find Jeff Mail deep in the end zone. Let's see if he hung on to the ball all the way through, because his momentum took him out of the end zone. He is bobbling it a little bit that he haven't secured there. He's wearing white shoes, and the back of the end zone line is white. That's really interesting to look at here.
They are going to take a look at this. Well, it has to be irrefutable.
That's going to be a tough one to overturn. Let's take a look again. There you see him bobbling the ball, and then he brings in his left hand to secure it. But is that toe out of bounds there?
That is a very close call. That'll look wide open, Mail.
And you see what Masoli can do throwing the football when he has a clear path to throw it. Jeremiah Masoli, not the tallest player on the field, certainly for a quarterback, only 5'11". Delivers that ball very well to Mail. And Mail has possession there, but very difficult to tell. It reminds me of that one three-point shot back in the 80s that Kevin McHale made. Couldn't tell where his shoes were on the three-point line. White shoes, white line. That's tough.
That is tough. That's going to be a very difficult decision up in the replay booth. Well, that's right there. That's a tough one. Very tough.
I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say that he's out. But I don't know if that's enough to overturn this call. I would think the call's going to stand.
Stands, touchdown.
And it does stand. It is a touchdown. So they say Mail did get the foot down. I think that was the right thing to do. It was really too close to reverse, I believe. And so just like that, 24-13, pending the extra point. You can see that blue sleeve, incidentally, being worn by the officials in this game and all over the Pac-10 Conference today. That is for prostate cancer awareness. Morgan Flint will try to add the 14th point here, make this a 10-point game once again. What a game. On its way, and it is good, and it is a 24-14 ball game now. And a beautiful look at Hoover Tower overlooking the Stanford campus, and he so far this ballgame might well be played in track shoes rather than football cleats.
Well, you look at it, 585 all-purpose yards, 38 points in 20 minutes.
Here comes Owusu out of the end zone. At the 15-20, that's on a little late getting to the gap. Gets it out to the 28-yard line. Let's take a look at a DirecTV game summary. Stanford, 3 touchdowns and a field goal in its first 4 possessions. Oregon allowed 24 points. They'd only been allowing 17 in the game, leading the Pac-10 Conference. The possession, of course, Stanford, that's what they want to do.
Well, you look at the vaunted USC football program, 20 points in 4 quarters last week in Autzen Stadium. Stanford down here in Stanford Stadium, 24 points in just about 20 minutes. Unbelievable turnaround here.
Neither team has the defensive answer so far. And this time, right up the middle and nothing doing. Toby Gerhart getting nothing that time. Let's take a look at the Fearless Predictions presented by Phillips HD on the Oregon side.
Well, you look at Casey Matthews. He's had some trouble in this game corralling Toby Gerhart, but he is the undisputed leader of this defense. Very productive all year, 51 tackles and a very sure tackler. And of course, famous USC football family, dad, uncle, 2 brothers. Guys are all balling out there. I mean,
That's right.
Great family of football players.
Out of the gun this time. Luck straight back, has time, flag down. Owusu can't hang on. Here's the call.
Offsides. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
It's a little bit of a break for the Cardinal. They get 5 against Oregon. You talked about that yardage, the amount of yardage so far in the ballgame. That computes to 30 yards a minute. That's a lot of offense.
Well, Toby Gerhart's got 90 yards and counting. It'll be really interesting to see how Oregon plays the rest of this game. Barry, you referred to it earlier, the young Ducks. Only 5 of Oregon's 44 players on the 2 deep are seniors. These guys have to mature in a hurry and come back here.
Gerhart play fake, and Luck is going to run. Luck's going to have the first down across the 45 to the 47-yard line, and that's borrowing a little something from the Oregon playbook.
Well, a really good fake by Andrew Luck, and for a redshirt freshman, and this guy has the entire package just like Toby Gerhart does. Just great action, and of course all eyes are always on Toby Gerhart for what he can do, and that really does look like Oregon. You see the ball not moving at all, and you see that sometimes when you watch enough tape on a team, you might just borrow a little something from them, and it looks like Jim Harbaugh did it right now.
Worked for a first down, ball at the 46-yard line. Gerhart again, right up the gut, gets a little gap, gets it down to the 45-yard line, a pickup of 9. Stanford getting it in big chunks, and you really got to give it up for the offensive line. Jonathan Martin, Andrew Phillips, Chase Beeler, David DeCastro, Chris Marinelli, the only senior on that offensive line. That time was Martin with the clear out.
And you see the tough situation that Nick Aliotti, defensive coordinator for the Ducks, is in. Does he bring the safeties up? Does he bring Boyette up and TJ Ward to try to stop Toby Gerhart? Because if he does that, he's going to get hurt by the Stanford tight ends and the play action that Andrew Luck is able to run.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, the same issues that befall Stanford are befalling Oregon now. Stanford kind of taking what's there. This time we'll give the fullback the first down. Marisic will get it down to the 41-yard line. Marisic becoming more and more a part of the offense. And in fact, today, with the injury to Snyder, he's playing a little bit more defense, too. Harbaugh was telling us the guy walks around with 2 playbooks at all times. Offensive book and a defensive book. And he's a pre-med major. Oh, by the way.
And he's cracked 3 helmets this year.
That's right.
Just some great stories on both sides of the ball. This is turning out to be a great Pac-10 football game thus far.
Absolutely. Luck straight back on first down, steps up, gonna throw, looking for Whalen. I believe he got it at the 2-yard line. What a catch by Ryan Whalen, and Luck put it the only place he possibly could.
Andrew Luck wills this catch. Talmadge Jackson, I don't know how you cover Ryan Whalen any better. Maybe you're trying to knock the ball away, but you see it right there at the top of your screen. Whalen taking off right down the numbers, and that ball is just put in there. It's not like Whalen didn't even see it. It's just willed by Andrew Luck, the freshman, that ball be caught. Great coverage by Talmadge Jackson III. How do you tell him to cover him any better?
Couldn't have done it any better. First and goal at the 3. Gerhart stopped at about the 2-yard line. Brandon Bear wrapped him up in a bear hug, if you will. Stanford going with that power package once again. Now they bring it out, and they come with 2 tight ends. Stanford had 7 offensive linemen in that last play. Second and goal, the ball just about the 2-yard line. Give it to Marisic, and Marisic fights for the end zone. He's close. Touchdown, Cardinal. So every time Oregon knocks on the door, Stanford answers.
And they're going to continue to have to do that in this football game because the Oregon offense has got a little bit of rhythm going. In the short yardage package for the Cardinal, a heavy dose of Owen Marisic carrying the ball on 3rd and 1s and near the goal line. A great job of Marisic taking a page out of Toby Gerhart's book, keeping his legs going and getting right up.
For point by Whitaker is up and good, and it is a 31-14 Stanford lead. Right back to a 17-point advantage.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in game action.
With that, we are set to go to the second half. Andrew Luck trying to pick up right where he left off in the first half. Stanford will have to wait a little bit, though. Oregon will have the ball first to start the second half. Chip Kelly said, got to put a little bit more pressure on Andrew Luck, but that's something that may be easier said than done when you got a running attack like Stanford has. And if you come after Luck, then what do you do about Toby Gerhart? Double-edged sword for Stanford.
And that's the balance that's really been a problem for Oregon, and that is the question they're going to have to answer. Do they bring the safeties up to stop Toby Gerhart, or do they leave him back there? Because if they bring the safeties up, they become exposed in the play action with Andrew Luck. Very tough decision.
Here is the kickoff, and again they drive it into the corner to Barner. That is by design. Starts to go cross field and is going to be stopped. Almost slipped out of that tackle. Two guys missed it, but finally Delano Howell, who is a very solid tackler, makes the stop short of the 20-yard line. Oregon's possessions, as you can see, they were 3 and out on their first possession. Then that 60-yard touchdown run, that got things started. They had a one-play 29-yard drive following a Stanford fumble and a touchdown pass to Mail, and then punt. Not very Oregon-like. They start the second half at their own 14-yard line. Give is to LaMichael James. Tries to cut it back and stepped out of one tackle, but not the second. He'll get about 5 on the play. Nick Bacaluso makes the stop. The numbers of Jeremiah Masoli, 95 total yards today, 78 yards passing, including a 29-yard touchdown. But compared to last week, just not getting it done.
They've got to find their own balance between Masoli and LaMichael James.
Masoli going to throw, and this is caught by Tuane. Tuane slips one man, and then is cracked short of the first down at about the 23-yard line. Delano Howell, as you said, a very sure tackler there to make the stop for the Cardinal. And it's going to be 3rd down and short. A big play early in the second half here for the Oregon Ducks.
And a nice job by Lavoisier Tuane, just a sophomore, really coming on for the Ducks. Of course, his father, Van Tuane, played D-line 4 NFL seasons. He's really coming on, playing well out of Golden West Junior College in California.
They need a yard, 3rd down. And it is James, and James pops it again to the 35-yard line and stopped this time by Delano Howell. That was the same play that went 60 for a score. But a big first down across the 35 and 36 for the Ducks.
So it doesn't take a lot of space for LaMichael James to take off, and the hole was there because Shane Skov, a little late closing down, just a true freshman.
This time Masoli going to throw over the middle. Dixon makes the catch. Midfield, 45, taking people with him inside the Stanford 40-yard line. Bo McNally finally wrestles into the ground. Pickup of 24. This is what Oregon can do. I mean, they pick up yards in a hurry. Give this time to James. Not this time. He's stopped by Chase Thomas. Thomas had a nice game so far.
Great job by the front 7 of Stanford, forcing the handoff to LaMichael James, keeping it out of the hands of Jeremiah Masoli. And then not only do you force the handoff, but you have to go and make the play because this Oregon offense is so dangerous. Chase Thomas does a good job of wrapping up and making the tackle.
2nd down and 10. Masoli going to throw again. Looks downfield, going for it all. Holland is out there. Touchdown Ducks. 40 yards, just like that. Took him 2 minutes and 14 seconds.
The Stanford safeties caught out of position. Bo McNally was in no man's land, and Jameer Holland way too fast. Gets down the field in a hurry, and Masoli, nice throwing lane to find him. And you see Masoli rolling out. Had a throw to Jeff Mail in the first half on a similar rollout play. And that sun-drenched end zone finds Jameer Holland.
Try for point is up and good, and it did not take long. This is back to a 10-point ball game. 12:46 remaining 3rd quarter. Stanford will have it for the first time in the second half when we come back.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in game action.
Welcome back. Oregon now trails by 10. They have the ball again, coming off a very successful first possession of the second half.
Well, they just came out of the locker room with authority. Tuanay with a nice run and catch. Dixon found in the middle of the field by Masoli, and then Masoli getting real deep in the back of the end zone. Had a throw like that to Mail in the first half. That one went to Jameer Holland. And this Stanford defense, you just get the feeling they've been hanging on, and their grip starting to slip a little bit.
You saw those Quiznos stats, and sure, there's a little apprehension on the Stanford sideline right now. This is James. James cut back, dropped after a gain of about 5. Incoming Dofia makes the stop for Stanford, but again, good first down yardage. Real key in this game for both teams. Now they go hurry up here, right to the line of scrimmage, second down and 5. They're on a roll and they know it. This time Masoli on the keep. Masoli looked to pitch and will pick up close to a first down. Delano Howell on the stop for Stanford.
And what you're starting to see, Barry, is the space. The space is being created. You have those big wide hash marks in the college game, wonderfully conducive to a spread offense. And Chip Kelly, I really believe, is an offensive genius. And he's starting to be able to exploit this Stanford D, starting to create the space and starting to dictate pace.
First down, Masoli rolls right, going to throw, does, and it's incomplete behind the intended receiver, DJ Davis.
If there is one deficiency on this Oregon offense as far as personnel goes, they just don't have the game-breaking receivers that we've seen them have in the past. Jameer Holland has been a project for them, and he's doing some good things. Touchdown catch in this game, touchdown catch last week against USC. There you see DJ Davis out of Denver, Colorado. Tuanay's coming on a little bit. Jeff Mail, a long strider. He's their guy, their go-to.
This is James again, not this time. Well played, turned inside that time by Chike Amajoro. And now it's going to be third down and long for Oregon. So big play. They bring Holland to the near side. Holland just scored the touchdown in the last series, and they slot the tight end Dixon. That could be a difficult assignment for Stanford. And we're going to get a flag.
By the snap, false start. Offense, number 59, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Well, they said number 59, but it is number 69. Both ran. You see him right there, getting into his pass set a little early. Stanford in a nickel there, putting a nickel back on the tight end, Ed Dixon. Michael Thomas still in the game.
So third down and 14 now. Masoli straight back. Now he rolls to his right. Now he throws downfield, and the flag is down. And we'll see who this goes against. I think this could go either way.
It's Richard Sherman on Jeff Mail. And it looked like Mail grabbed him and pulled him.
And it is. It's going to go against Oregon.
Pass interference. Offense, number 23. 15-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Mail just kind of waved Sherman by.
Half the distance to the goal.
Now, why wouldn't Stanford refuse this penalty? It's 4th and 14 if they refuse it.
I think he caught the ball.
Oh, he caught the ball. Okay, I'll give you that. That would explain it.
Nice catch by Mail, and a great job by Jeremiah Masoli, buying time and finding and trusting his receiver downfield, but just a little too much physical contact from Mail on Richard Sherman.
So now, third down and 26. Masoli throws for Holland, and he can't hang on. Good coverage that time by Johnson Batamosi. Ducks will have to give it back to the Cardinal. I think that's a key defensive series for Stanford.
Giant defensive series, but it only means a bunch if Stanford can get the ball back offensively and do what they did in the first half and get some yards on first down, pound Toby Gerhart, and then use the play action with their freshman quarterback, Andrew Luck.
Rice in his own end zone. Terrell stands just short of midfield. Drive end-over-end kick, takes a big hop. Terrell will just let it go, and it does take an Oregon roll. Down about the 43-yard line. It's time now for a Phillips HD game break. Let's check in with Darren Horton.
Barry and Tuscaloosa, third-ranked Alabama, trailed at halftime, but opening drive of the third, Greg McElroy to Darius Hanks, 21-yard touchdown. Crimson Tide rolling 10-7. By the way, Jordan Jefferson injured in this game. Guys?
Darius Hanks, number 15. Thanks very much, Darren. Rather, 10-point ball game here, 31-21. Bama now in front of LSU, as you heard. And this time, movement by Marisic.
Not a good start for Stanford.
Part of the snap, false start, 48, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Owen Marisic, characterized as doing everything right by his coach Jim Harbaugh, does something wrong.
A first.
And it really is, jumping off sides. And it's one thing to go off sides if you're have a false start if you're an offensive lineman, but you really have the luxury of seeing the ball at fullback. Shouldn't happen.
So first and 15 now for the Cardinal. Luck, give it to Gerhart. Gerhart's got a gap. Gerhart 45, midfield to the 45 of Oregon, the 40, 35, out of bounds to the 30-yard line. Huge play. Javis Lewis runs him down.
Well, Owen Marisic goes back to doing something right. Walling off on the right edge, and then Toby Gerhart making the cut inside underneath the guard, Andrew Phillips, and you see his ability to jump outside. He can do it, and he can get to the sideline pretty quickly. Again, a nice cut inside. Andrew Phillips with a good block on Spencer Pasinger, and Toby Gerhart using the straight arm to get a few more yards. Big run for the Cardinals.
Gain of 31. Stanford has it at the 31 of Oregon. Play fake, Luck gonna go up on first down, looking for it all, looking for Owusu. He's got it! Touchdown, Cardinal!
Well, we've been talking about Andrew Luck's willing, especially the ball way downfield to these receivers, willing it into their hands, willing catches. Chris Owusu didn't look like he expected this ball to come. His head, the ball was halfway there, and his head was not turned to Andrew Luck. He turns at the last second, looks up, and the ball's in his hands. And again, good coverage by Talmadge Jackson, but a better throw and a better catch.
Absolutely. I mean, you couldn't ask anything more of the defender, Jackson. Try for point, and Whitaker is up and good. And it is back to a 17-point ball game. Andrew Luck's happy. The Cardinal are happy. Jim Harbaugh's happy. And about half the crowd's happy. Cardinal back in front by 17 on the 31-yard touchdown pass from Andrew Luck to Chris Owusu.
Well, look at Owusu, comes off the line of scrimmage. Talmadge Jackson in bail coverage, and look how turned around he gets. He's around the 3-yard line when he finally looks back for that ball, and he had no choice but to catch it, or it was going to hit him in the head. What a throw by Andrew Luck, and great adjustment by Owusu. And again, what do you tell Talmadge Jackson, the third? He was right in position, just couldn't make the play because the throw was too good.
Twice now that's happened to him. Here's that kick into the corner again. Barner about a yard deep. He's going to come out. The 10 to 15. Dropped again short of the 20-yard line. Stanford special teams are really a factor in this game. Amajoy again makes the tackle.
And Oregon's got to keep their foot on the gas. They have to keep their tempo going, and they have to keep the Stanford defense on their heels.
The fact is, Stanford's offense is no fluke.
No, I mean, look what they've done. They had 584 yards against Arizona, 473 yards against Arizona State a couple weeks ago, and 380 so far. And the third quarter's pretty young here on the farm against Oregon. And Oregon is still in a good position in this football game with the way they can play offense. And they're still in a good position in the Pac-10, even if they go on to lose this game, because they don't have any Pac-10 losses.
There's a give to James. James coming on that big loop. Gets it up across the 25 to the 26, a gain of 8. Chike Amajoy makes the stop. Last week, remember, against USC, 613 yards of offense. And the numbers today are not embarrassing. They've got 300 yards. That's a lot, 298 yards. But not nearly good enough so far. Here's Masoli on the keep, trying to kick it outside, get around Sherman, and he does, and gets it up to about the 39-yard line before running out of bounds.
And the Ducks are doing a good job right now, keeping the tempo going. Chip Kelly knows he's going to have to do it. He told Rebecca going into halftime that Andrew Luck was a great player and was going to be tough to stop. And right now, between Gerhart and Luck, Oregon's having trouble, but they got to keep the foot on the gas offensively, keep their tempo going, because they're not out of this game.
No, not by any means. So they're going to throw this time over the middle. Dixon threw it behind him. Dixon was open. That's the play that just killed California, and that game, according to Chip Kelly and the coaching staff at Oregon, that was the game that really crystallized this Oregon offense.
Well, in 2007, we saw Oregon with a terrible injury to Dennis Dixon in Arizona collapse at the end of the year when they were in the driver's seat. But this year, they don't have any Pac-10 losses like they did in 2007. They had that early loss to Cal.
This time, James straight ahead. He gets about 3. Akam Udofia on the stop. Udofia's been very active on the down line defensively for Stanford so far today. Now third down and long again. James now over the 100-yard mark. 4th week in a row for him. 107 yards. And the blitz comes. And Masoli throws the screen. Perfect play. Here's James. 45 midfield. 45-40. On his feet. It's going to be a foot race. 25 to the 20 to the 10. And knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line by Michael Thomas. That was the perfect play at the perfect time.
Well, Shane Scove, the freshman, really took off for Masoli. Masoli really got Scove to commit and then was able to dump it beautifully to LaMichael James. And watch the acceleration by LaMichael James, just flying through the hole, through the seam, breaking the tackle of Delano Howell. Almost taking it to the house.
First and goal at the 3, and stepping in is Masoli on the keeper. Nothing fancy, get the job done, and with the conversion, this will be a 10-point game once again. What a game.
And Stanford is scoring points with Oregon, and this Oregon offense, they've not been absolutely themselves, but a great fake again. Everybody commits to Barner, and Masoli sees the hole on the outside. Perfect read option run. Darian Weems a little banged up, getting off the field. That's the reason for the delay.
So now the try for point to make this a 10-point game once again. It is up and good. It was 7 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It's Stanford 38, Oregon 28. Well, it's a 10-point game on the scoreboard, but all the other numbers are about as even as can be.
Oregon's got 380 yards of offense. Stanford's got 380 yards of offense. With return yards added, Oregon's got 490. Stanford got 528 with the big kick return to start the game by Chris Owusu, a real weapon. And there you see him right there with the Cardinal. They need some good field position here, and they need to keep answering scores, because I don't get the feeling that Jeremiah Masoli and Chip Kelly are going to stop here.
They're not going to stop. And we're just past the midway point of the third quarter.
Wow.
Long way to go in this game. Incidentally, the last time Stanford beat Oregon was up in Eugene in 2001. The score of that game was 49-42. Here's Owusu. Hits the gap, bounces it outside to the 30, stutter step, and then he's surrounded about the 33-yard line. Marvin Johnson, first man to him, and it has been the Chris Owusu show.
Well, here's the opening kick of the game, and Owusu just flying right down the numbers. He looks his best when he keeps those legs going, and then catching the ball brilliantly from his quarterback, Andrew Luck. He's been well covered all afternoon, but that hasn't stopped him. And there you see the great adjustment on the last touchdown for the Cardinal. Chris Owusu really having a big day.
So this time, Stanford starts at the 32. It's back to a 10-point game. Just under 7 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Andrew Luck, the quarterback, Gerhart alongside him. They go out of the gun. 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts right now. And momentarily, we have a stoppage.
Shotgun formation on first down, a little different for the Cardinal.
And now the Cardinal will go back and huddle up. So here we go again, first down at the 32-yard line and remain in the gun. Give this to Gerhart. Gerhart gets about 5, maybe 6 yards on first down. Time now for a Phillips HD game break. Once more, let's check in with Darren Horton. Darren.
Barry in Happy Valley, number 11, Penn State not happy. Ohio State's Terrell Pryor continues to show everyone he can use his arm. 60 yards to DeVere Posey. 16th ranked Buckeyes leading number 11 Penn State 17-7 in the fourth.
Thank you, Darren. 2nd and 4 here. 6 yards on first down, picked up by Toby Gerhart. That was the goal, as we mentioned on several occasions. Now, Oregon moving around a lot defensively. Give it to Gerhart again. Gerhart, first down and more, busts into the secondary, and is stopped on a nice open field tackle at the 49-yard line by John Boyette. Boyette played great last week against SC and hasn't missed a beat here, just a freshman.
John Boyette plays very angry, and you see TJ Ward coming off the edge there on the run blitz. That doesn't help, though, because Toby Gerhart gets into the line of scrimmage so quickly. If Toby Gerhart breaks a tackle at John Boyette, he's going to the house because the other safety, Ward, was flying up the field. John Boyette, 5'10", 190 pounds, redshirt freshman, but plays a lot bigger than that. Young man out of Napa, California, Napa High School.
Stephon Taylor in the backfield now for the Cardinal. First down to short of midfield. This is Taylor trying to cut it back. Saw a lot of green, but stopped before he got there by Spencer Pasinger. Well, the First and 10 line brought to you by Overstock.com. Save up to 70% off brand names every day at Overstock.com. Overstock.com, at home. Yo. Ball right at midfield. Toby Gerhart now 159 yards. Taylor remains in the game. Ducks showing blitz here. And they back out of it. 3-man rush. Luck throws over the middle. He's got a man, Owusu, who is cracked. Good job by Talmadge Jackson that time, and he had a lot of help from his friends, and Jackson is going to be a little slow to get up. This game is nowhere near over.
The Oregon defense used to play in a lot of plays. Happened against Boise, happened against Purdue, and happened against Utah.
Straight back, goes Luck, steps up, throws. Owusu has it at the 35-yard line. First down, Cardinal, 15 yards, and another big play by Andrew Luck.
Well, that time, with Talmadge Jackson out of the game, John Boyette one-on-one against Owusu, and the Cardinal able to exploit that. Boyette giving Owusu a big cushion, and why not? Owusu's a lot faster than him, and a great throw by Andrew Luck, getting it out there. Pretty easy throw and catch for the Cardinal.
Give it up for the O-line for Stanford, too. Luck had all day. That was a rather slow developing play.
And it all starts with their run game. Toby Gerhart now broken his single-season rushing record of 1,139 yards in the set last year.
Still Stephon Taylor, though. This is Taylor, steps out of the first tackle, puts his head down, gets a couple more, gain of close to 3 yards, 2.5 or so. Pretty pleasant on the tackle for Oregon. Now Toby Gerhart back into the Stanford lineup. It's Tyler Gaffney along with Gerhart. So a little bit of a different look here now for the Cardinals.
So now we've seen all three Stanford tailbacks, Stephen Taylor, Tyler Gaffney, Toby Gerhart. There's Gaffney right here. All three backs in the game right now.
First time they've lined up in this alignment. Play fake, Luck's going to throw. And now he steps up, does throw, catch made, first down. Stephen Taylor on the receiving end of the 16-yard line. And once again, that was a little bit out of the Jeremiah Masoli playbook.
Really coming under control was Luck, sprinting out to the sideline, and really looks like he's going to tuck it. He's got all three tailbacks in the game in what they call a bone formation. Gets the Oregon defenders to commit, drops it in, just like Masoli did to LaMichael James. That time he drops it into Stephen Taylor, a huge recruit out of Mansfield, Texas, a true freshman.
First down Stanford at the 17-yard line, now on the power I. Gerhart, right side, breaks a tackle at the 10, at the 5, touchdown Cardinal! 17 yards for Toby Gerhart. You can't stop him.
Well, right now, Oregon can't stop the power play. Chase Beeler at center, Andrew Phillips once again pulling around. Gerhart's going to get right underneath number 71. You see that? And it just doesn't look like Oregon has the desire late in the third quarter now to bring down Toby Gerhart. He took John Boyette for a ride.
Sure not going to bring him down with arm tackles, and there were about 3 of them on that play. Try for point to add the 45th point by the Stanford Cardinal, and this is falling into that category of who'da thunk it.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in game action.
And now we're set to go. They bring Gerhart in motion. Now he winds up in the backfield. Play fake. Luck going up. He's got all day to throw it. He airs it out deep. He's looking for Owusu. He overthrows everybody.
Playing with a lot of ease. Looks kind of like Tony Pike back there right now, the Cincinnati quarterback. Andrew Luck just playing with a lot of ease, bouncing around back there, and all the time in the world to throw the football. Stanford using a lot of formation.
First and 10 line brought to you by Overstock.com. Shop at the company that supports college football. Overstock.com, at home with the O. That was only the second first down pass of the ball game by the Cardinals. So, you know, a different look. Not getting in any kind of pattern. Second down and 10, ball at the 40-yard line. Gerhart, flag down. Gerhart gets to midfield, gain of 5. We'll see about the flag. Spencer Pacey on the tackle.
Offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
So they will take the penalty rather than burn the down. It'll be 2nd and 5.
So that's the same as a first down run for 5 yards from Toby Gerhart. Stanford gets away with the incomplete pass and the clock stoppage on first down. Little penalties like that don't seem like a huge deal. They don't seem like game changers, but they can really hurt you. And Oregon's had a lot of penalties so far.
They have 9 to Stanford's 3. Gerhart again. Gerhart busted. He gets it down to about the 46. First down, Cardinal. Another pickup of 9 for Toby Gerhart. TJ Ward makes the stop. Toby a little bit slower to get to his feet that time.
Well, he's burning clock, and that's what you do when you have a lead at the end of the game. You lay on the ground, you hold on to the ball, you wait for the official to ask for the ball, you take your time getting back to the huddle. Toby Gerhart almost to 30 carries in this football game, and this is the time for him to shine. His work is not done. He's got to run this clock for his team.
There's that power I formation. That's the formation he scored the touchdown on. Give it to Gerhart again. Gerhart breaks it 40, 35. Taking people with it down to the 30-yard line. Boyette and Lewis just could not bring him down. And Gerhart with that run has gone over the 200-yard mark.
Well, he's having a career day, and he is carrying his football team along with that offensive line. That time pulling around David DeCastro with a really strong block. Andrew Phillips has been great pulling all afternoon as well. He's making a case for all Pac-10. So is DeCastro. This Stanford offensive line. And Oregon, as good as they are defensively and as resilient as they have been all year and as great of a job as they've done, they are really wearing down. These guys are tired of tackling Toby Gerhart.
We've been talking about the running backs, of course, coming up after we get out of Dodge. You'll see Jacques Rogers, you'll see Jonathan Best, you'll see Shane Vereen. And now you're looking at Taylor. Taylor will get good first down yardage. He picks up 9 on the first snap. And this time Marvin Johnson going for right. And you know, we thought maybe it might be the Stanford defense that's wearing out, but I'll tell you what, Oregon's looking more tired defensively than Stanford.
Well, they're just taking football out of them. Right at the end of the first half, we saw Stanford line up, and you'd think they're just going to take a knee because there was 17 seconds or so left on the clock. What did they do? They ran power. They're continuing to lean on this Oregon defense, kind of like body punches in a boxing match, and you see the effects of it right now in the fourth quarter. Big push by the Stanford offensive line. Big yards for the Stanford backs, especially Gerhart.
Yeah, but at the 22-yard line, Taylor remains the tailback. Give it to the fullback this time. He doesn't get anything. It's Catron getting a call for the first time, not Marisic. Josh Catron in at the fullback spot. Marisic has had to go both ways today, not the whole game, but they'll try to spot him offensively a little bit more, and as I say that, he comes right back into the ball game. Third down now, and about 4. They are utilizing the clock. 4 of 7 on third downs are the Cardinal in this game so far. Gerhart back in the ball game. Luck rolls to his right. Now he steps up. Now he's going to run, and he's going to be stopped short. He was stopped short. A terrific shot from Kiko Alonso. And it'll be fourth down, and let's see what Jim Harbaugh decides to do. We were talking about Harbaugh's kicker, and he said he's got 51 yards in him. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. It is going to be about a 41-yarder from here. Already made one from 29. Nate Whitaker, the kicker, not a big guy, 5'9". He will try to give the Cardinal a 20-point lead. Snap placed on its way. Plenty of distance. Looks good. Is good. And the Cardinal lead it 48-28. Oregon will have the ball. The clock is now the ally of Stanford. We're coming back. Stanford leads it by 20. 48-28. Toby Gerhart up over 200 yards. Moving up on the all-time rushers per game. John Volpe's 220 yards back in 1988, the all-time record at Stanford. And right now, Gerhart leads the time at 2:01. Barner at the 1-yard line. Right back up the gut and is dropped short of the 20-yard line. And again, you really got to give it up for what Stanford is doing on the defensive end on special teams.
Well, they've been covering well, solid play, but look at Toby Gerhart's day. Just a ridiculous display of power, balance, speed, skill, blocking up front. Now, Darren Nelson's got 4,033 career rushing yards. That's a record at Stanford. Toby would need to play the 2010 season to approach that mark, but he's having one of the best days I've ever seen a running back have as far as endurance and durability and ball security. Even though he had the fumble in the first half, that was more of a fluke fumble. A great play by T.J. Ward putting his helmet on the ball. But right now, Stanford taking the number 8 team in the country to the wall.
I'll say they are. Oregon now. Masoli rolls one way, has to throw across his body, does, and misses everybody. He had Chase Thomas right in his grill.
And because of Stanford's offense possessing the ball the way they have, it's really given their defense an opportunity to move around, get some rest, play with some tempo, and just try their best to keep up with Oregon. Most telling stat in the game, other than the score, time of possession is 34-15 for Stanford.
James has stopped after a gain of 3, and it's going to be 3rd and long once again. And Stanford's defense is jacked up right now. Shane Skov made a couple of mistakes, but he's also made some big hits.
Well, they need his speed. They need his speed and his explosion out on the field, and they'll take the mistakes because Stanford very beat up, very thin on the defensive side of the ball, and not as athletic as most other teams in the Pac-10. But you see what they can do when they play together.
3rd and long. Sully with time throws underneath to James, and James reaching for the first down, and it will depend on the spot.
Harbaugh doesn't like the spot. He's right there talking it over.
I think they're going to measure this.
They're trying to find
After
the spot.
review, it was determined that the runner went out of bounds at the 28.5-yard line, therefore to be 4th down with a half a yard to go.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. They did get it right. They reversed the call.
And another big 4th down for the Oregon Ducks. The last 4th down, Ron Lynn dialed up a blitz, brought Michael Thomas off the edge, and he made a great play on Jeremiah Masoli. There he is right here. Let's see if they bring him again.
This is actually almost a full yard from where the ball is spotted. Big play of the game for Oregon. They gave it to James. I don't know, I think he got it. I'm going to mark this at the 30-yard line if the linesmen both are standing, both the side judge and the linesman standing at the 30-yard line, so this will be a 1st down.
Injured Oregon offensive lineman Carson York coming off the field.
We saw Darian Weems limp off a little bit earlier in that last series.
This has been an offensive line that really took a lot of heat after the loss at Boise, and they had not really come together against Purdue and Utah. And then they started to get their mojo working, and they've been great ever since. But just like Stanford, they can ill afford injuries up front.
So it's a 1st down at the 30-yard line. 9:47 remaining. Stanford leads it by 20. Holland comes in motion. Masoli going to throw. Throws to Holland. Holland dropped it, and he had plenty of room to run. He was probably thinking about where he was going before he caught the ball. Out of the shadows, too, into the sun, which could have made that an even more difficult catch.
Tough situation coming out of the shadow to the sun, and I thought Masoli recognized Holland a little late being open. He's open then, and it takes about an extra half second for Masoli to get the ball out there, and coming out of the shadows into that sun, very difficult time of day to make that catch.
It's the only part of the stadium that has any kind of sun right now. There's a quick pass, and this one is dropped by Dixon. Dixon's having a tough game.
Same situation, too, coming out of the shadows into the sun. Masoli really looked like he committed to the run. We've seen Andrew Luck do that as well this afternoon, and then delivers it outside. Pretty heads-up play to find Dixon by Masoli. But again, just a tricky time of day here on the farm, and Dixon loses that ball.
So again, a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 10. Ducks 4 of 11 in 3rd down conversions. Not as high a percentage as they usually have. Masoli straight back, now a roll away from pressure. Now he throws downfield, got a man caught by Paulson. 1st down at the Stanford 45-yard line, and a nice job to hang on by the tight end David Paulson, a gain of 25.
And that's the other Oregon tight end who's having a pretty good year, a breakout season, in fact, for David Paulson. High school quarterback at Auburn, Washington, Riverside High School, and he's a good player.
First catch of the game for Paulson. Oregon hustles to the line of scrimmage, ready to get another play off. Masoli this time steps up, throws wide open, James down the sideline, and he dropped the football. That was going to be a touchdown. Frustration from Chip Kelly, frustration from Jeremiah Masoli. A
again, LaMichael James, just a true freshman, gets lost on the wheel route. Richard Sherman loses him. It's his responsibility to get out there and make the play. Michael James had nothing but 6 points. Couldn't hang on.
Second down, pump fake this time. Masoli rolls to his right, throws back across the grain. Catch made by Dixon. That's a first down inside the 30 and the 28-yard line. This one prior was just a flat drop.
Masoli lays it out there perfectly, puts good touch on the ball. You have to do that when you got a running back out there. They're not used to catching the ball downfield. Puts it right 1 foot in front of the numbers for LaMichael James. LaMichael James, a great freshman player, just can't make the play.
Ducks right back with a first down. Now here comes a blitz, and the pass is caught by Barner. And again, Masoli heads up play. He's going to pick up about 6 yards. Shane Scove is coming on the blitz. Couldn't quite get to Masoli, who completed the pass. A gain of 6, and it's going to be second down and 4.
More tempo from Oregon.
Masoli quickly now. Steps up, throws a drag pattern for Mail, makes the catch. Gets around him at the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Close to the touchdown, but they're going to mark it at about the 2-yard line. Gain of 21. Don't go anywhere yet. This game is not anywhere near over.
You see Stanford again just hanging on defensively. The tempo from Oregon and the rhythm really getting working. We've seen it in spurts in this game. Coming on the drive route was Mail. Masoli finds him with the tempo, and he does a good job trying to pick his way to the end zone.
Stanford's only got 10 men on the field right now. And to give the Barner touchdown. Stanford could not get the right combination of people out there. They had 10 people on the field.
Well, that's what the tempo does to you. Really puts you out of sorts. Nakam Udofia had his arms on Barner, but Barner, just too much momentum, headed toward the end zone. Nice drive, orchestrated by Jeremiah Masoli.
48-34 ball game now. Plenty of time left. Enough time that Stanford cannot try to sit on this lead.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in game action.
Pac-10 has some unbelievable combinations this year for yardage. Look at James and Jacquizz Rogers, Owusu and Toby Gerhart and what they can do. Marine and Javid best friends on that California team, and they share that backfield. Just so many guys that can play skill positions in the Pac-10. So many explosive players defensively and offensively. It's hard to say that anybody is playing better football and coaching better football than the Pac-10 right now at this point in 2009.
Big play right here. Third down and 5, 1 minute, 3 seconds. Stanford needs a first down to put this one in the bag. They give it to Gerhart. It's not going to make it. Got about 2, and it's going to be 4th down now. Oregon does not have a timeout remaining.
Toby wanted that first down. He's disappointed, but a great job. TJ Ward, Brandon Baer coming up and really stopping any forward momentum that Toby Gerhart had, and he is tired. We usually see him fall forward on plays like that, and he was knocked backwards. Great job by the Oregon defense.
So 530 yards between Owusu and Gerhart today. You saw those numbers that they averaged 286. 500 today. And now they will call a timeout with 15 seconds remaining. Now, do you just run another play? Do you try a field goal, which would make it a 2-possession game?
Well, if you punt it, or a quick kick situation, and it goes into the end zone, you put them on the 20. So it's about an 11-yard difference. If you run Gerhart again, you know, you're likely to get the first down with the way he's been running the football, but he might just be out of gas. And if you try for the field goal,
you give it to him right where the ball is.
Right.
So, however,
tough call.
If you make it, the game's over.
I mean, Toby Gerhart, 38 carries. How's he going to recover for the USC game next week? I mean, they're going to really have to take it easy on Toby Gerhart in practice this week. The safe call is really to run Toby Gerhart here, but it looks like they're bringing the kicker out.
Yeah, it does. Well, this would put the game away. Now, of course, you also run a risk. Oregon historically has been a very good team at blocking kicks. So you must consider that.
This is a long kick, so it's going to have a low trajectory, just like we saw with Tennessee, Alabama a couple weeks back.
Now they could fake this also. Well, we got 15 seconds to tell us the story. It's snapped, it's placed, it's kicked, it's on its way. It is good! And that's going to do it. A gutsy call, I think, by Jim Harbaugh.
Very gutsy.
Isn't that interesting? We talked to him yesterday.
I thought they might pooch out of that field goal formation.
Talked to him yesterday about the range of his kicker. He said, I'm comfortable 50, 51, 52.
Whitaker came through that time. Missed one, but made up for it. Big celebration on the Stanford sideline. Oregon, they came back and fought hard in this football game. They're dejected. There you see Nate Whitaker, the junior, San Diego, California, St. Augustine High School.
Numerous heroes here today. Numerous heroes.
Toby Gerhart, the offensive line, Andrew Luck. You see Jim Harbaugh, the celebration on the sideline. This is the biggest win in the Harbaugh era. Here's a guy that loves his players, and he knocked off USC. The biggest win in the Harbaugh era in this decade was the 2007 victory at USC, 24-23. It was amazing as a 42-point underdog. This guy's building a resume of giant wins. This will go down as a program-changing win because the Cardinal just knocked off America's hottest team, and now they will be bowl eligible. Congratulations, Stanford. All you have to do is play USC next week.
And you know what? I mean, when you just look at matchups, Stanford matches up pretty well with USC. I honestly, going into this game, I thought the USC matchup, because we're going to be seeing that game too, was a better matchup for Stanford than this game was. Meantime, Barner stays on his feet to the 40-yard line, and the clock with that will stop at 4 seconds. But this was going to go into the books as a Stanford victory, and a hard-earned victory.
Well, they had to do it. They had to really just pull the reins back on that Oregon offense. You weren't going to be able to stop it, but they were able to do enough with a depleted defense and not as athletic a guys as Oregon has, no question about that. They were able to pull the reins back on that Oregon offense, and really what they were able to do was pound the football like we talked about in the open, hold the football, time of possession, keep Masoli on the sideline.
So Masoli will just throw it, well, he throws it underneath, and it's dropped by Mayo, and that's going to be the game. And the Stanford student body, what there is of it here, will come onto the field in celebration, and it's a good cause to celebrate. I mean, as we said, numerous heroes. Andrew Luck, that guy right there, Toby Gerhart, best single-game rushing performance in history here at Stanford. You've got to give it up for the offensive line, consistent this entire game.